So welcome back to the podcast. I'm Jack, and today we're going to be speaking with Vanessa. Vanessa has done a photo shoot with us at JHF here in Brisbane last weekend, and she's come such a long way since we first started working together. So really just wanted to talk to her today about sort of her journey, how she's found things, and just, provide some value and give some tips to you guys who may or may not be wanting to get started on your own journey. So first of all, Vanessa, welcome. And the photo shoot, let's start there then at the weekend. Like, how did you find that?
Oh my goodness. Thanks for having me. That was an experience. Never would I have thought that I would do anything like that.
Yeah.
So just to be surrounded by everyone, all of us having similar kind of goals and wanting to get somewhere, and just to be able to do that it was amazing, life-changing. I loved it. I'm still on a high from it. It was so
Still
good.
that high,
Yeah. So, and it was great to meet everyone as well because it was the first time really seeing everyone. Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Obviously, Joanne, you knew as well. So seeing people you sort of knew from a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think we worked it out. It's been 9 years since we've seen each other, and it was just nice to reconnect there as well. But yeah, it was a great day. So it was fun to be a part of. Yeah.
What would you sort of say if someone told you, a couple of years ago that you would have been doing a photo shoot or something like that?
Yeah, as if. No, never going to happen. Listen, I've always wanted to be in fitness and do and be fit and get to where I am now, but I never ever in my life thought I would ever do that because that was for other people, not for me. Would never look good enough, never be fit enough just to do that, but I proved myself wrong.
Yeah.
You helped me prove myself wrong.
No, that's awesome. And I think also sort of having that booked in as something to aim for.
Yes.
Did you find that useful as well?
100%. It kept me more accountable. I think I was pretty much set on getting to a goal anyway, but that was more of this is coming in 21 days. I remember looking at it when we first said it.
Yeah. Had that countdown on your phone.
The countdown app on the phone was the best. As soon as I got on, every day I'd look at it, I'm 20 days, 19, we're getting there, 3 hours. But yeah, it kept me accountable, and that goal definitely got me to where I needed to be as well.
Yeah,
for that photo shoot, get it ready.
Yeah. That's then obviously that's right now what's just happened now. And then what I want to do is just sort of take people through your journey as well. So if we sort of rewind back to the start when we first had that call together a long, long time ago, what would you say you were feeling like back then?
Defeated, sad, wanting to give up, kind of all right, I'm going to meet with him, but I don't know. I don't think this will work. I don't know. It was just kind of let's just see what he says. And I couldn't believe, even thinking back to looking at myself when we were talking on the phone, because you always see that picture of you there, I just didn't see like I am now. I wasn't the person I was anymore. But I was super, super, super low in life. I just never thought I'd be able to achieve anything.
I know you obviously brought your family to the shoot as well, and that was awesome seeing them and meeting them. And can't wait to obviously share the pictures of you guys all together as well. They're insane. But my reason saying that is I know that was a big motivator for you as well.
Yeah.
Being there for your family, and that's a goal for a lot of parents that I speak to. That's their goal. So how were you sort of feeling about that when we first spoke?
Yeah, when we first spoke, I'm in my 40s as well. So you always have that back of mind thinking it's perimenopause. The reason why I'm snapping so much is because of that. I was just not happy in myself. So I feel like every parent, we go through phases where, you do get a little bit upset and you pull yourself back. But I don't feel like it happens as often as what it used to.
Okay.
Just being there and being able to listen to my kids and then just show them as well. Look what mummy did. We can all do it. There's anything that you can overcome. If you don't show them to do that, then they're not going to be able to believe in themselves either. So, and it was just great to have the family along for the ride. I feel like a better mum, more energetic, still tired, but that's just a tiredness that you never get rid of. But it's been awesome. To be there better for the kids and feel more confident in myself. Cool. Yeah.
That's what I love to see as well. That's what I say to people is obviously the progress pictures and everything are great, and obviously like they are amazing.
Yeah.
However, like speaking about these types of things is so cool, like how it's changed your day-to-day life and like life with a family is like so amazing. It's just like the best thing for me as a coach. So I know a lot of parents that I speak to struggle with the mindset of, we were speaking about this actually on the way back from the shoot, like when they feel like they might be being selfish by going to the gym, or they sort of don't understand like that side of it, that actually by making some of these changes and these sacrifices and putting themselves first, they're actually putting their family first as a result of that, because of that better version of themselves that they're able to show up with. So how did you find like that, getting your head around that?
You're always going to feel selfish no matter what you do. Like we've done so much in the last few weeks as well. And I know my kids are at home, and Sebi was like, don't leave me. But I knew I had to do this for me as well. It was hard in effect because I was training earlier just so that I could be there. But I knew that if I didn't do that, I would. And I find it in myself as well. Like during the day, if I don't go to the gym when I'm supposed to, or when I feel like I should, I'm more irritable, more tired. I just, it's those small little things you just have to like, it was hard at the beginning, but then eventually it's like you need to do this for yourself as well, and for your family in the long run, because not only do you benefit, but they benefit as well.
Yeah, it is that as well, like in the long run, I think. Yeah. And it's remembering that and having the short-term sacrifices to then have that long-term lifestyle of like, now when you're in a position where you're feeling so much better on a day-to-day basis, and that's having a massive positive impact. So I think it's just having that longer-term vision. But when you are putting in that effort and having those short-term sacrifices, but maybe not seeing results, that can be really for people when they just get frustrated and then maybe give it up, because they may be sort of thinking to themselves, okay, well, I'm putting in all this effort, but not really seeing any progress. And then you think you're making those sacrifices for your family, but not seeing the progress. So then you sort of give up. So I know you've tried a lot of things before. You sort of a lot of things. So
loads. Oh my goodness. This has been like a 21-year journey. Like thinking back to it, I started like 21 years ago, just starting like exercises and stuff like that. But more specifically, like I was fasting heaps, and I remember speaking with you about it, and it worked for a small period of time. And then I felt like I woke up overnight and put on all this weight. I think it was December 23. I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I can't feel this way. So I downloaded that app and started working out a lot. Yeah, I'd be taking progress photos of myself, and I'll be like, oh, the scales don't mean anything. I'm doing all this stuff. And I was getting up at the 3:45 mark, as, I still do now, but nothing was changing. Nothing was moving. The photos weren't looking any better. I was getting irritated. I was like even tighter than before. I was pushing even harder, trying to do like the half marathon. Just nothing was working. I think that was when I hit that really low mark. And then I reached out to you.
Yeah.
And I was just like, something has to give. I might as well give you a shot and see what we can do.
Well, I'm glad you did.
So do I. So am I. Oh, my goodness.
I know a lot of people try these types of apps and like quick programs and stuff like that. Doing those things and not seeing progress doesn't really put you in a very good mindset, because you feel like you're putting in all the effort and you feel like there's maybe something wrong with you, or like it's just not possible for you. So how did you feel like taking that leap to come onto JHF and start with the coaching when you'd been in that mindset before of like, oh, things aren't really working? Like how did you get in that mindset of like taking the leap?
Well, I think I needed you to take the reins. Just point out where I was going wrong, because the only way I knew before I started with you was it's all or nothing. You got to eat healthy. You just got to, not even the healthy, like salads and all that kind of stuff, restrict myself for anything. Oh, if I ate a chocolate bar that day, that was it for the rest of the week. I'll start again Monday. So I was nervous when we first met, because I was like, oh, is he going to make me restrict anything? What is he going to do? How is this going to work? Yeah, there's always those nerves of what exactly do you need to change because can I keep this up for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
Because I've done it all before, like, you know, and I have been restricted and never get to keep it off at the end of the day. But I was like, let's see how this goes.
Yeah.
Let's see if he restricts me. And if he does, I think I might cry. But we just got to get somewhere. But I was so glad because you actually took the reins and you showed me that it's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you pointed me in the right direction.
Yeah. No, 100%. I think like having that external perspective is invaluable. Like if you're trying so hard by yourself, you don't know what you don't know at the end of the day. Like it sounds simple, but it's so true. And you could be looking up everything online and just really trying to sort of get your head around everything and taking as much knowledge as possible. But you might not be seeing things correctly, and like having that external view of someone like looking over what you're doing. Yeah. That's where you can spot the changes that need to be made. So how have you found it going from trying so hard yourself to then having like a coach and like someone within your journey, like with you?
It's made it easier. I think when we were talking last night as well, like, you know, I remember being nervous at the beginning about sending you text messages and going, oh, I'm just demotivated today. Like the scales aren't moving or something was going on, and having you just there going, it's okay, this is what happens. You know, having a meal. I remember sending you the first photos, like it still makes me laugh. And this is when I knew it was going to be okay. And I know this sounds so strange to a lot of people that might hear it, but I remember sending you a photo of a pizza that I ate, and you're like, Vanessa, that was great. Like, it's great pizza, but maybe try half of it next time with some veggies. And I was like, hey, he's not judging me. This is great. Yeah. And you've taken on the reins and you've gone, it's okay to do what you're doing. Or
100%.
And, you know, setting out those goals for me as well, like, not going, hey, you're going to have to reach this by this day. I think we can do this, you know, you know what I mean? Like
being realistic.
I didn't have to think too hard into exactly what I was doing. I was like, I can eat normally.
Yeah. I think so many people, like with the pizza analogy, for example,
it's just the best.
I know that cracks you up so much. With that, it's like people think that, oh, I can never eat pizza again or something like that. And it's like, well, if you want to go about losing weight by never eating pizza, then if pizza is one of your favorite foods, as soon as you start eating pizza again after the dieting, you know, process, then you're not going to know how to keep your results.
Correct.
So obviously, I'm not saying that you can be eating like large amounts of pizza every single day. Like that's not how it works. No. But if you have a pizza, like if you really love pizza, you have it once a week, twice a week, and like you just make some small changes like that. Like, okay, instead of having a whole pizza that's like super high calorie, maybe we just have half of one that's like got some best choices in there. Yeah. Have a bit of salad with it or whatever it is. Like it's those types of changes, like realistic changes that are going to help.
But with that as well, like even because we do have it weekly, right? Because the kids love it. And sometimes it's just easier just to get them a pizza, but it's not even having like half a pizza anymore. It's like, well, I'm getting these great results. Like I really want to keep it up. I still want my pizza. So I'll have a slice and then I'll have heaps of veggies. But like you showed me those changes that I could make, and I'm like, hey, I can still do this. This is great, and I'm still getting the results. So, loving it.
It's like really thinking about also what we can add rather than necessarily what we can take away. Yeah. Like with the pizza, like, okay, adding the veggies in with it or something like that. Not necessarily just think about what you can take away, because I think a lot of people, when they're trying to lose weight, they're only thinking about what they can take away. And that's when they get in that mindset of restriction. Yes. Whereas actually, yes, maybe there might be some things you need to reduce. And I don't really think there's any time that you need to remove something completely. But, you know, there's going to be some things you need to reduce, but also really important to add things in that are not just going to get you losing weight, but make you feeling better as well. Like
that's it.
The veggies, I know, is a big thing for you. And like,
make you feel fuller for longer.
Yeah, they do. Like veggies are a game changer.
I know. Adding protein to everything. I was like, that makes me feel fuller, because then you don't feel like you're missing out on anything.
Yeah, and now you know why you're doing these things. Yes. And that makes it so much easier, I think. Yeah. I mean, you can tell me your sort of like experience from doing your own stuff and like the apps and things before, but when you were doing those things, I guess if you didn't really know why you're doing certain things, maybe that's sort of, you wouldn't like understand the thoughts behind the process.
Well, that, and like with the apps as well, they do give you a meal plan. So your thinking is kind of taken out of that in that respect. And like, what do you do once you stop eating those foods? And it was a lot of meal preps.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest thing for me. Like, I could still eat my foods and just do those little tweaks and stuff like that. The exercises and stuff, like, they may not have worked for me to get me to where I needed to be.
Yeah.
Whereas I find like that little bit more definition once we do a phase.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very monotonous for me with doing those apps and stuff like that, because it was the same exercises day in, day out.
I think obviously having the structure of a meal plan is great, but it's also, you want to be able to have that flexibility.
Yeah.
Like if you are going to eat a pizza, like your pizza's probably not going to be on the meal plan. Like,
No.
or if you're having like a takeaway, or if you're going out, like, you know, you're here in Brisbane for a few weeks, like if you're going out for dinner with your family or something like that, like you need to know how to approach those situations.
Correct.
Especially if you're doing them regularly.
Yeah.
Like if you really want to maintain your progress or over a longer period of time.
Yeah.
And also, actually, that reminds me of a big part of your journey has been the sort of events with work as well. And like, I know that's something you were maybe a bit like apprehensive about.
100%.
So yeah, talk me through like how that's been for you.
Well, like, you know, in the past me would have just freaked out, like, oh my God, I can't eat that, or I shouldn't eat that. No, I shouldn't have a wine. I shouldn't do the dessert. Like, it's ruined everything. But now I can just have a look. And the funny thing is obviously when you go to functions, they have like, one person gets this meal, one person gets this meal, like, you know, the odd. And I'll be like, oh, do you want to swap your fish for my chicken? Because I know that's probably the better option for me at the end of the day. Still eating the deliciousness, but it's one meal at the end of the day, if no one wants to swap. But with anything, it's just one meal at the end of the day. If I was doing it constantly, like we've always talked about, you know what, there'll be a time where you will go back into those old habits. But I used to beat myself up constantly.
Yeah.
If I didn't follow what I was supposed to do, I would beat myself up and that would be it for me. Now it's more like, hey, just enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
That's
it's
the whole
it's just
about
like,
life.
it's one meal, just chill out.
Out.
Don't worry too much about it. And obviously make some simple swaps where you can accommodate for these events and stuff like within the week as well. Maybe bank some calories or, you know, whatever it might be. But then like after that, that is the most important thing, is not feeling guilty.
Yes.
And letting that take you into a negative mindset and like then have more implications on other areas of your journey. Like that's really important. And that's why obviously we've recently had like Christmas as well. And you went through Christmas whilst like still preparing for the photo shoot. So obviously that was like a little bit of a more, a different Christmas for you. But like with the majority, like the rest of the team that weren't going through a photo shoot, for example, I know you watched some of the trainings we did as well, like navigating Christmas and just understanding like, okay, you know, it's Christmas. It's not, you know, maybe a time for dieting. It's time for, you know, focusing more on family, enjoying self. Maybe like it's just a period of just maintenance and that's fine. Or even maybe gaining like a little bit of weight, but like having that balanced mindset of, okay, not thinking like, oh, it's Christmas, I'm going to gain 5 kilos and then I'm going to feel terrible going into the new year. It's actually like a case of like, right, I can still enjoy Christmas. I can make a few changes. And that's how we want to approach most situations as well. I know Christmas is a little bit different because it's a little bit longer period of time, but.
Yeah. Well, like we had Christmas and then my dad turned 80.
Yeah.
On the 1st of Jan. And I think you just lowered my calories, like, you know, just to get ready for the photo shoot, which was fine. And I just remember sitting there going, oh, it's on my dad's birthday. It's my dad's birthday. It's fine. And you made it okay. And that was what changed my mindset as well. We need to enjoy these celebrations because why are you doing what you're doing? If this is going to be a lifestyle change at the end of the day, why are you restricting yourself on the day that is important? It's one day again.
Yeah, you need to enjoy it.
You got to enjoy it. Otherwise, like you're going to fall off the wagon later on down the track if you just like restrict. My biggest thing is, and like, with the mindset was, even though we had the photo shoot, I think it was 10 days after Dad's birthday. Yeah, I accommodated. I did a couple of extra steps and stuff like that and still was okay.
Yeah, and like you're living proof that the fact that you've just had like Christmas and your dad's 80th and you've just done a photo shoot straight after. So it's like, that is just living proof that you can have the best of all worlds.
100%. Yeah.
And like what you said there about feeling good, that is ultimately the whole point in the journey, is feeling good physically, mentally. So if what you're doing isn't making you feel good, then you're doing something wrong, because like you need to be doing something that you feel good about and you want to have for your lifestyle for a longer period of time. And yes, there's going to be some things that maybe don't make you feel good initially, like in the moment, if you're on the Stairmaster or if you're doing like whatever in the gym, like pushing yourself. But those things, maybe, yes, they don't make you feel good straight away, but it's like that delayed feeling, that delayed gratification, and the short-term sacrifices, as we were saying before, for those long-term results. So even though those things might not be making you feel good straight away, in the overall picture, it is making you feel good. So I think that's really, really important to remember as well.
100%. You know, getting up at 3:45, no one wants to do it, right? You just have to, that's what I do. And like, you know, sometimes it's that tired feeling, but seeing from where I first started to where I am now, everything is worth it.
Yeah.
Right? So trying to get that sleep in, getting those exercises in, you know, being a little bit more careful in those choices. At the end of the day, I know this is now my lifestyle.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's the first time ever that I've posted anything. So I've made myself accountable as well.
Yeah.
And I want to show if I can do it, anyone can.
No, that's
you
awesome.
know? So it's great. Like short-term pain, long-term gain. That's
love it. 100%. Inspiring people. No, I love it. And I wanted to talk about what you spoke about before with the scale weight, because I know you spoke about doing things where you were sort of telling yourself, you know, that, you were progressing, but the scale weight wasn't moving. Obviously, scale weight isn't everything.
No.
Like, obviously, you can, you know, like there's other things going on there with body weight, with like your muscle mass and stuff, and loads of other things within your body. However, if your goal is fat loss, like if you're going over a longer period of time, the scale weight does need to come down. And if someone's telling you otherwise, then, you know, it's just not true. So if you're wanting to go from where you started to where you are now, it's just a fact that there is going to be a drop in body weight there. So how's that felt for you, going from a time of like telling yourself you're progressing, but the body weight's not coming down, to now, like when you've been in a consistent position of like most weeks, like body weight coming down and progressing? I
feel amazing now. I wish I never waited so long, because I think I was lying to myself that, again, like we said, scale weight isn't always important. But for me, like starting back when I was 21, you know, scale weight was always the most important thing. But like now seeing the progress, seeing that scale go down, I think when we first spoke, you said like 73, 74 kilos, let's aim for that. And then I was like, no, I want to try and go for 70. And you're like, let's just try for 73, 74 now, like, you know, and you set it out realistically. And then I hit that goal of 70. And I think I even went under a little bit. Yeah. It was like fireworks were popping off everywhere. It was like, oh my God, I actually did it. I never thought that I could. It's just, that was the mindset. I just never thought, like, before I started with you, I was like, maybe I will never get to this spot again.
Really,
Maybe I'm in perimenopause. Everyone talks about it, you know, just don't lose the weight anymore. But every time I saw the weight go down, and then I started seeing the progress pics that we send every Monday, just the photo slowly changing, it was just like, I just never expected it. I was so happy all the time. I'm like, oh my God, just keep going. Just keep going. You got this. But it's amazing. Like, it's the best feeling in the world. But
And now you've got those photos forever as well to look back on with your family too there as well. I think it was really special.
Yeah. That photo with Liz, literally like,
I can't wait to share that with people.
Yeah, that was insane. Like, just seeing that photo. And she picked it up. She said, my mum. And then I looked at the photo because it was just her birthday. And I was just like, oh, my God, Jack, look at this. And it just didn't really hit me until that point. Like, you see it mentally, but that was when I was like, oh, my God, this is just insane.
I think that was a big moment for you from what I remember. And then also another big like standout point in your journey that I remember is when you sent me the photo of you like wearing the clothes.
The pants, I bought those pants like before I started this new position, because we have like a little uniform when we go to visit brokers or do like conferences and stuff. And I remember coming up to Brisbane, this is when we just first started, trying to put them on. I'm like, oh my God, they're not fitting. They're not doing up, and having to rush like half an hour to go back to H&M and buy a bigger set of pants. And I was just like, this is so killing me at the moment. And then, that one day that I just decided, I was like, I'm going to try these pants on again that didn't fit, and they fit. And I was like, oh my God, they're doing it again. Like, it's just seeing these little steps that have just made me want to get that much better and that much fitter and just keep going. It's just been life-changing, honestly.
Yeah.
It's been amazing.
I know the clothing was a big thing for you at the start when we spoke as well.
Yeah.
Like that was something that you really had as a goal. And that's why I think it's important to set these goals as well and not just have the body weight, of course, and have things like this, like, oh, you know, is there clothing you want to fit back into, or like a clothes size, or we spoke about like your energy levels with your family. But with the clothing, that's a big one for a lot of people. And it's a great thing to measure with as well, because it's like either you fit it or you don't, you know.
Correct.
So with the clothing, how are you feeling in your clothing at the start?
So at the start, like, everything was just really uncomfortable. I just felt tight, like everything was tight and just not fitting properly. I had a pair of pants that I felt like I just bought and they were okay, and then one day I wore them to work and it just felt like a suction cap. Like, everything was so tight, and no matter where I moved, if I ate, it got even worse. It was just horrid. Like, it's such a bad feeling, and I didn't want to go out and buy more clothes.
Yeah.
I was too stubborn to do that. I just try to fit myself in again. And the great thing is now, like, they all fit.
Yeah.
They're a little bit big, which is great. Awesome. I love it. I do have to buy new clothes now. Yeah. But for a different reason.
For the smaller size.
To the smaller size. Damn you for making me spend money. Sorry, Carly. Yeah, it's a great feeling now because these clothes just fit and I feel, more confident in them now.
I think it's great that it's so great that you kept the clothes as well, because I think some people that I've spoken to in the past, they might have gone into a bigger size and then like thrown away their smaller size. And I think as soon as you do that, if weight loss is your goal, as soon as you throw away that size, you're almost sort of like subconsciously telling yourself that you're never going to fit back into them. So no, that's awesome. And that's just something I remember. And just like your smile, like when you were wearing those again, was just like priceless. And these like exactly the types of moments where it just makes all these little things that you're doing on a daily basis like worthwhile. And what would you say you're sort of most proud of from your journey? Like, obviously there's been so many things that you've done and achieved.
Most proud of.
What would you say that you're most proud of out of all of that?
The photo shoot.
Yeah, fair enough.
Just getting to that photo shoot, and just now even looking back at the photos, that I have gotten to that point where I'm okay wearing little short shorts and like the crop top and just getting up there and taking photos. Just the confidence that I've gotten from it as well. And that, and just being like, hey, I belong at this gym. This is, I don't have to hide in the corner. I'm here. This is me. I'm just like the confidence. That's what I'm so proud of, is that I've actually gotten from this entire journey. But the photo shoot was like the cherry on top.
100%. Yeah. As I said before, I think it's amazing having those things to work towards. And it is also that extra accountability as well. Yeah. Obviously, you do have the accountability of having like me as your coach, but like having that extra thing that you know you're going to be turning up to the photo shoot and you know you're going to be doing that. You're going to be in front of the camera and wanting to make the most out of that. Yeah. It's really great for making sure you really push that next level. But the confidence is the underpinning thing, I think, of all of these things, like the photo shoot, the clothes, you know, how you are with your family. Like, I think that is the underpinning thing for all those things. So how would you say the confidence has changed, like, in the time working together? From when I first met you and spoke to you, you were just completely different with how you carried yourself. Like I could even sort of see the change from what you were, sort of like your posture, like on our call together. How would you say that confidence has changed for you?
For me, I feel like, you know, I was about to start a new role as well. The confidence for me is just like, from me taking all these steps with you, it's just built that confidence within me. If I set my mind to something, I can do it. Yeah. You know, starting a new role as well, it really helped me get that confidence. And, you know, at the beginning, I would talk to people like I can talk underwater. But it just wasn't that, oh, yeah, I know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
But now I feel like, you know what, I kind of get it. I'm going to ask the questions. It's fine. No one's going to laugh at me. Who cares if they do anyway? Because I need to learn.
Yeah.
I need to get where I am. But, yeah, the confidence for me, like just making decisions and making a mindset of, yeah, I can do this. Look what I just did the last 6 months. Like, come on. But, yeah, my levels have just risen.
That's so cool.
But, yeah, I'm still the same person. I'm just, like, standing taller.
Yeah.
Smiling
Standing
brighter.
tall, like the posture, just like owning your space and like being sure of yourself as well.
Correct.
Like what you're saying there with the questions, like maybe the question that you would have asked someone, you know, in a group setting or one-to-one or whatever, maybe like that actual question hasn't changed, but your confidence within yourself has changed. So you feel like you are able to ask those questions or do different things within your life. How would you say the confidence has changed, like day-to-day things? Would you say like within your work or within sort of like anything else in your journey?
Within work, it's like, yeah, I feel, the main thing for me is just being able to stand up taller and know that I'm part of the room. I had a situation happen just before I started with you that kind of killed my confidence. Okay. My friends have seen it and it killed my confidence, and I second guessed myself for everything. And I lost a few friends, you know, over a situation. I just second guessed everything, absolutely everything in my life. Am I doing the right thing? Am I being a good mum? Am I right for this role? Can I get through this training session? And now I'm just like, you know what? I am who I am. You either take me or leave me. It's okay. It's just water off the duck's back if you don't. You know what I mean? And that's what the confidence has done for me. Yeah. I know who I am at the end of the day. I keep on saying it. I just stand taller, and I know that like you said, I own my space. This is my space. And like, you know, if I'm letting you into it, that's because I want you there.
Yeah, that's a very powerful place to be, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
What would you say to someone that was in a similar position to what you were in, like with how you felt before? Like, what would your advice be to someone? Like, if you could speak to old Vanessa, for example, like what would your advice be to her, like someone like that in that situation?
Be kind to yourself. Mm-hmm. Stop trying to fix everything, because some things just can't be fixed. Try and smile, and it's going to be okay. Like, just keep moving forward and you'll get there. Yeah. You will get there. You will get back to that place that you were before. Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
No, yeah. I think that keeping positive is important, like you said. But also I think the biggest thing there is keeping on moving forward. Yeah. And not focusing on what you can't control, focusing on what you can control, and like doing something about it. And okay, you know, what's my situation like right now? Yeah. Where do I want to be? How can I get there? Like, what are the steps? What are like the things that I can actually do? Take some control and be like, right, you know, I'm going to sort of do something about this and keep moving forwards. Yeah, there might be some bumps along the way, but as long as you keep moving forwards and taking one step at a time in that right direction, you are, you know, there's no doubt that you're going to get to where you want to be.
That's it. Yeah. And then ask for help. Yeah. Ask for help, because if I didn't reach out to you for that help, I wouldn't be where I am now. So yeah.
Well, I'm glad you did, like I said.
So am I. I think everyone, like, you've impacted everyone. Like, everyone that goes, oh my God, Jack, you just changed my life. And it's just such a rolling sentiment for everyone.
No, that's awesome. Yeah. Big thanks for the chat today and coming on and sharing your journey. I think it's going to be so valuable to people that are listening to, maybe that are in a similar position to what you were. Yeah, just having that insight into your journey and what it's taken and the things that you've needed to change and the mindset shifts, I think, going to be really, really helpful. So yeah, big thanks for that. And congrats as well for obviously like taking that leap. And the photo shoot was amazing. And that was just amazing to see you just crushing it there. So congrats on that too. And looking forward to what's to come for you into the next phase. And big thanks for watching the podcast today. Hopefully you found this useful. If you've got any questions at all on absolutely anything, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram at Jack Hart Fitness, or also if you'd like some more information on the coaching and about joining Team JHF, make sure to just tap the link in the description and I'll reach out to you. Thank you, Vanessa. Great speaking with you today, and see you in the next podcast.